Haze doma semidi zamling gya khamnalu ringong chiwi doma gi rignam chi imda misichu gi chongju ge tenle jacheu bera chukchong thab do yubi te du gya khamnalu imachin haze doma de go thambara kare haze lede gi sanamda na chil henkada nyamde gi thole go chuge bi Kari haze ledegi migden chora gya khabnalu haze jukjong thabdi tonsip ki misichugi choi netang ya ratang thablu jabjur bewi thole jamling gelchi ne chakhalu haze chongjur thabne gi migde da de haze jukjong gela kuchugi bime
나는 없으면 자겠지 오인슬라 가지고 세워지 다른 컴퍼니기 망일을 맞도록 배웠지 가라 칠땐 내가 붙어 배웠지 가데비 배웠지 다운 거 뭐세
고담니기 아니 뉴스 같이 고치라 아니 टाइम나 faster that you janus no we
Yeah, I mean this was an extremely challenging period. I mean having 350 staff, 8,000 grower partners and literally having no money and staring at a wall of commitments that you can't meet. And you know, when I came to Bhutan, I had brown hair, and now it's grey. And you know, sleepless nights. We tried to bring in domestic investment because COVID had locked down the country, and bringing in international partners really wasn't a possibility at that point to reinvest. Obviously, the government and the people we were speaking to had shorter-term priorities, understandably so. It was a national emergency with COVID, and so we couldn't raise additional outside finance. So in January 22, myself and Jeff really looked at the business hard, and we saw that there was a viable core here. And you know, we're professionals. We want to finish the job, and especially if the science is sound and we know that there is a good long-term outcome that's possible here. So we committed essentially our life savings to bringing in the raw material and to fix the problems in the growers' orchards and give us time to try and refinance. We now stand on the verge of actually fulfilling on bringing in that long-term financing. Nuts are coming.
칠립이 레드지나 밴드기 마음라 칠립다 지가 제가 답고니 배배달로 이 칠립기디 자지 고투심래 주마도 센센 배추베라 베니스 주비 템베라 베니스 이 컴퍼니에 자지 고담니 배간루라 더 고담베 더 컴퍼니 펠리아시스 잡다디 미투베스 노디 데다루 컴퍼니 치갈레오 나 주게나 마차지투베 데 펠리아시스 오다다시 미투베스 자지 주비 레숑베 템베라 조니세 tiru meru yalese malese namsami kauchedi zer dangomedi ngaji dubimi sesu debera komijase kongi benis bechu slamedi machu se member bechu chimarese.
So we encountered three main challenges. The first challenge was the production of pollinizer varieties in the tissue culture lab in China. It proved very difficult to get consistent supply of pollinizer material. So at the beginning of the project, we had to plant out production trees without pollinizers and leave gaps for later planting. Unfortunately, only small numbers continued to come from the lab, and we had to move to a different system, which was grafting in pollinizers in 2019. So really, 2019 was the first time that all the orchards had pollinizers present. But this does mean a delay in fruiting. The longer you don't have pollinizers and sufficient number of pollinizers, the longer it takes to get to fruiting. The second big challenge was a global problem, COVID. It closed down the country, it closed down the world. It prevented us from getting to orchards, managing the team and actually providing the services we needed to. And in 2021 winter, we saw a final problem, which was the flowering of the main production variety was inconsistent in that year due to a warmer winter. And given climate change, the risks of warmer winters is only going to increase. So we needed to consider what a solution for that. Happily, we have much lower requiring chill hour varieties that were proven in Bhutan by that point, and it was a matter of grafting over the top of those orchards below 2,400 meters, which was 80% of everything that we'd planted. So a very significant additional cost and more time required. All of these problems led to us having a cash crunch and having to restructure the business.
In a bid to improve the fruiting of hazelnuts, the Mountain Hazelnuts venture kicked off a nationwide grafting program from Hazelnuts in Dagana today. This is to replace non-productive hazelnut varieties with those better adapted to Bhutan's climate in around 4,000 acres of land by 2027. For the program, the company tested a climate adaptation grafting project since 2021. The company said it will cover all expenses associated with the program.
We had delayed production, and it was working in places, but actually the quantities were quite low because of the pollinizer challenges we were experiencing. So in the first decade, 5 to 20 tons was really the harvest. We've now put in place the solution, and that is starting to fruit well, and we're expecting 30 tons this year and increasing harvest thereafter, now that the foundations are set.
Although hazelnut kai pucuk pega cuk thang sho kopa hazelnut cha da ni ne ha dong bazar dong chim na bazar ge ni hazelnut da ni tucuk pe cha da ni ne rukti bragi sung cho ni ashi hazelnut da kan kopa thong ro ma thong sila ne om cuk pe cha dak te ke ne jang ga bo tho ung ba pura manang chokala odo omak pura manang sing chang pa ne on sing chang pa kai po ga nang ka om bra thok phili gala hana rui bu mala ne o sing kai chuk ne la ne ha usa wakcha te gang kanam sem thin gung so ligi sa da ni nok sam mini ne godang parang thokki thanang ke jang ya ka gila na sinja pura lungchang pa chala o sing chela kamna samakala ne on sa brage phani gangji ni sa bora ga bang phani ne on lukni chiwo gidala ngam thurga budang se chin nyong chola nami sa me kalo de ki ne o braga ne la rukti shama ngap chu duk chu an chin nyong chola ra ne chingeng ing mang puden sha manging bu se song thopang de ne bu se lu shu se ni phukpu nam sa me maka nang ka khunam se maka ani ye khuchon chong dong company ga bu chukpa ne ongchang company ge lok ni hanti sungmaya ne rok ti bra ba ka masung ma kamang godang parang janga ko kamnang ma da ni ma ara kalam turpin got pen kapting pile ne onin dan anila se ba se ni ne thingung he pusole ga chonela ni dikpe dan chi company ga ne athage lenthur aningak pe lenthur len nikching he po kalam ga company ga tan phoi ba da ne company gi namlo niktung khaitur dang thurga ne singkhai po kalam ge go chuk ni nangma ne go chu nangma kam ni singkhai po likpin ani rang budang thurang malik pa ga malus pa ni likpin ani rang likpa da shle ne namlo niktung khaitur dang thurga khai likpurang likpa ne khaitur dang nikching ga tukpa khaitur dang nikching ga khai bu likpa da shle ne oma le ale marba rangtin gani cholakangka ne uthu singi phentokpa uthu mandani ko pachukpa gangka bo nin chukpa ne oma bo ne nang mini rang chon chala uno sete chongni sani singa le ale marba kam gan pakam ni danguda baka ne wakcha ba school te lampa kharche phili marba kam ni ne uthu segi thin bung shoni ne kharche phili ga rewa ani janga ka thuge oni na phinchala le oma ani bo ne na phini ne om darita si mang pusila kam ni jang so nang phini ne cham ke rong nang uni goni oni na chonjala
다 하지싱 쪽도 이게 마음은 이동 중이 대책을 고치는 거도 하나를 고치베다 로베오진 중이 대주는 면을 아님지 몰라 아님지 할로들랑 해마니 싱 짬 나옴들로 내가 노사만 내베 따인다 아니다 아니 싱 사치 주고 베세 신싱이 뚜이뚜미 디메람 가이 대버들로 아니 신싱기디 남삼미지 가지 주롱 라비오들 라하도 아니 남삼 라자멜라 로숨 대치 라하도 델렌데 랑진기 호라기 केबे नाम समलेशम जोमे मेरा 아치나 하즈넷 기디 잠베바 도마타 심레디 ngai 침볼로 하라히 가릭 말레야테 나히 해말 안에 오멜라 보라디스 다 깜지가스 나사리 델랭아이 보라디스 다 고베스테 메라 나사리 오메 보라가짐 치고니스 보람디스 렌 델레나 데 하즈넷 기데 도마디 수감 델레디 날레디 바고 민두발라 메람 백 공사르 스자베 데 끼어벼진 백이랑 잡 다루 롯 잡들라 하두 메람 아야나 중구지 주미디에디 롯 아스르가 베오베발 암소인 데메스 데오다 시벨라 메람 마제 아니기 잠노 잠베 메람 탕드라인다 아시시 자트에버진디 마기디 아니기랑 띠르 톱님 베서 놓으면 톱에 톱지 메람 마기디 탕드라이 다 도지 나이 공가기를 랍데 치가듬지 톱지세 다 동다 둑주 둔주갈레 야셰데스 아니 비시 이 로치오로치아야 디다 깨워딩 하기 쓰는 또이 미미랍니다 레지감네 아니 깨워딘 리조메 보면 내가 지 아니디 존이 민두메 다 코라네 베람 다 로레레나 사레사레 데 야마니 유마스르 잡베 데 거의 도마 데 텐네레 베람
다 컴퍼니 담니 멜로 안좀 슬랍시나 차기 라인가라
아니 디게 메람 아게 다 컴퍼니 디데 진기디 가데 베는 마시 컴퍼니 디다 남섬 로스 포 인베스라 노일라 데부다 ngaceludi kevin dubal the company di the mabal lost phone meram thandrai the ngache singdin company pok maba mo mer de da ngai ani di ngarara sham de ani di nga jen gale de zongrong di that company mingo bachin mo meram ngarara chugo be khepsang be meram ani di ani singdi lost mabal min du meram khongda jendi chu nga junimi ngagi di ani singida der da insara noi mer de chile daruda ani singdi ani be dubala meram da ani sardi sulenga diwo kenila mache la beudalo de ani singi logadim chidinis de khongdi chula be longapju daru longapju di da migirang de loja sengachi labnimis mapa deni loja deni be ani singi de nga cheludi da longapju de chi deni longapju de bachin di da misechi ani da ngagi di dokte chimbe meram ani singi
Before hazelnut, strawberry chukdei, actually hazelnut hipdalu, the hazelnut chikha chuniki try be. Chikha chuko me the ngasal sar me bade mola chikha machu thabar me. The suli nga gachi experience of situation. The strawberry ani open ear na be wajin. Strawberry karyu me bal. Karyu me. The hazelnut tree boom josin strawberry ni mindola. Most good experience. Anal thupchila. Ani be de kogi set na nam solution be gomma ba. Then the introversion into farming. Namsen lesion me gomma ba. Ani be ni namse to athin la. The khoi domata, strawberry domata. Mola, and it the Garabesai, La Garabesa, the Lende, the Conams Bego Mendu, the Nazitiril Mol, Tirilene, the Lende, time, just time wait bego me, more, this is wait bego me, this is part so chillen, the Lente, and the Tirto with this Yasil. Ani Prandunasani, and Venasa Ani Sagzumidi, Ani Sisam seeing Gadana, Doma Rim Samsivama. Rim sanjue to doman name se बताऊं आने की फोसो में भी दो बताऊं बा हिमासा अंजुम में बदल सब पूरा से बे नाम से मैं गची गुची किया रे में तो बदला ता प्लीट्री हेज़लनट सिंग दिस जो स्ट्रॉबेरी जो बे गाना खोरा की दाम बाकी ऑटोमेटिक डेवलप में ला एयरवेज नाम से मैं सा फर्टाइल जो में ता हेज़लनट आने अब दल नाम से फेंदो दो बदला निजी भी वैसे गाला थे बे में हो गए थे गजी बे में वैसे वजन ता स्ट्रॉबेरी की सीजन लूँगा इरिगेशन बे कोई मसला ते लोग सुबह हेज़लनट इरिगेशन बे में कोई मोला ना स्ट्रॉबेरी लूँगा गजी बे दो मैन्यूरिंग बे कोई मो लोग सुबह खोगी देने बे में कोई the main source of expense be was 1 into 2 mola ane do badela nana some profit dula ani did the ro shimi this base was nam sele shoni mete last is only last 25,000 of hazelnut I got 25,000 by from hazelnut so I am happy and so this year I'm hoping for at least 50 to 60 if God grace is there maybe like.
In 2009, my wife Teresa and I were invited here to work with stakeholders across the nation to create a private company to partner with mountain farmers. Our vision: to plant hazelnut trees to provide families with long-term income and create an industry with opportunities for many others.
Over the 15 years, there have been challenges, but we are so proud of what has been achieved. Thousands of people trained, orchards planted in 19 zongkaks, millions of grafts on trees, nuts harvested across the country, a vision being fulfilled through the efforts of so many.
The 2021 grafting was where we started to visualize the conversion of the variety from what we had into something new, and it was a late decision, very late in the grafting season, to try that area, and we went in and we just took out 4 rows and put in the old psalmwood that we had available in the cold store to see if it would work. And while survival was good, the actual fruiting had never been overly visible, and so because it's not really varieties that we want to use as productions, it was more a test of a concept of conversion. And so to see those varieties now come to life and also produce nuts is really pleasing, because they are mainly pollinizer varieties for our new production varieties. So, but in the end, every tree should be able to produce nuts, and so it's nice to see them start to wake up.
Ani shing bewa na tseza am kilebita ki imela na ap na me same labeo na me same toa ya ap ana na shing na me same doma ta betula ana na ne fa ani de yam hil zum dola shing china na me same doma ta na ma chi ap kile sri na me same sem ga be imela de chile de chi de ani shing na le ki ji chik ja ti tendong os imela.
If you look at the recent report of discussed in the parliament, Primagacel is one of the zonghaks which has the highest rate of fallow land. It is also one of the zonghaks that have one of the highest gongtong, rural-urban migration rate in the country. Therefore, I think it's so important that we look for some kind of solutions to ensure that our fallow lands are once again put to proper use, and also that this trend of rural-urban migration is reversed if possible. And to me, it seems that this project of Hazelnut as a sustainable economic and income generation activity where the fallow land can be put to good use, it appears to me that this is one of the avenues that we could all jointly, collectively pursue. For example, in Pimagasil, 209 households of Pimagasil Zonka in 10 of the 11 guilds are engaged in hazelnut growing in collaboration with the Mountain Hazelnut Project, right? And despite the gestation period that has taken quite a few number of years, farmers are now encouraged that there are signs of hazelnut nut actually fruiting. For example, last year, for the first time, about 144 kgs of hazelnut were cultivated. And this is only going to increase this year, especially with the improved grafting method that the company Mountain Hazelnut project has brought about.
In this story, we will look at successful hazelnut ventures and growers' anticipation on the nationwide grafting program that aims to speed up nut production.
Choni Wangmo from Yakpugang in Mongar began growing hazelnuts when Mountain Hazelnuts Venture first distributed the saplings. The 54-year-old works alone on a nearly 3-acre orchard without any assistance. Choni uses her nephew's previously barren land to plant hazelnut trees. Today, hazelnuts are her primary source of income. She says it has benefited her.
The company provided us with saplings and we worked hard. Through the hard work, I have been able to increase my hazelnut production and income. This has benefited both me and the company. If the company had not provided us with hazelnut seedlings, the land would have remained barren.
She added that she initially fetched only about 33 nitum a kilogram of hazelnuts. Now she earns 100 nitum a kilogram. Mountain Hazelnuts Ventures operations head for Lindsay, Mongar, Tashiansi and Upper Tashigang said that Choni's orchard is thriving because of the equal distribution of both male and female varieties.
In this orchard, we distributed the initial batch of saplings at the beginning of the venture. Although it is the first batch of saplings, all trees are fruiting well, achieving 100% nut yield. This success is due to the presence of both female and male varieties of trees in the orchard. Meanwhile, some orchards are not fruiting well because they lack both male and female varieties.
The company began grafting in 7 districts in 2022. This year, they expanded to a nationwide climate grafting program across 18 districts to replace non-productive hazelnut varieties with ones better suited to Bhutan's climate. The venture has also trained field officers in all 18 districts. Another grower from Mongar said that after the grafting program, the quality of nuts has improved and trees that previously did not bear fruit have started fruiting.
After the successful grafting program, people look at our orchard as an example. After that, other orchards were also grafted. As of now, the trees are flowering and fruiting well. It started fruiting nuts after a year of grafting.
Similarly, a farmers' cooperative at Khalong Chiwok in Mongar is reaping benefits from its 20-acre orchard. However, they have not participated in the grafting program yet. Members said they are awaiting results from other grafted orchards before starting the process with their own trees.
We are hoping that it benefits the community, and we are brimmed with joy with the growth of the trees. The quantity of nuts is increasing annually, so we are happy.
Developing the first FDI in agriculture in a new investment destination really can't be met with traditional markets and banks. You need development finance institutions, impact investors that are prepared to take additional risk for truly transformative impact. And being the first FDI in agriculture of size, ADB, IFC, GAFSB, they all saw this as a way of increasing investment into agriculture and that transition that's needed. Unfortunately, we couldn't give them a return on their investment. I mean, we did have a cash crunch. We had some unexpected challenges that extended the timeline to get this right. And so all of the impact investors and those institutional investors, unfortunately, had to surrender their shares. This was done amicably, and they're still, firmly committed to the long-term mission. But it's really 2.0 is when, sort of the returns are going to come.
Debat można. Azon instytuty, terato asikam wyłacinde, komercje na nie żupita, na ciebie pią.
अनि फ्रुट सापी में मला अनि मेंदी दा चुनी दी नाम interest के वे चुदो वाला दातो ते लोकशले दोमा गादे भी ताऊं गादे दिला मिशी मोला first time मेंदी ते दा नाम same गादे ला नि थोपिन दिला.
So Chile, like Bhutan, 20 years ago had no hazelnut plantings. Growers in Italy and Oregon saw an opportunity, though, that the agroclimate and soils were attractive, and it was counter-seasonal production. So they started doing plantings, big plantings, but they had a lot of technical challenges. Even with the best fundamental science, it took a lot of work to refine and get the right mix for that particular environment. Actually took them 15 years, longer than they expected. But now, 20 years on, they are the world's third largest producer of hazelnuts. And what it shows Bhutan is that, you need to be persistent. You need to, learn the lessons from the first decade and put those into action. And I think, Chile could be, sort of a very good case for the Bhutan situation and the eventual outcome, which would be 1% of world supply.
tuchudi yura yula tuchudi kijal haw se notan yanga kijal hawla shin gepcha ge tujurbeila analu gepcha ge tujurbe anil hanje sogi domo toyula anani de dan anadi de anan sodi angi pyodo tuda de mala tu anabe sodi ana pro yula sodi.
There are fruitings taking place, the harvests are good. So there's a huge money actually in that. And plus the land that we have utilized is a land where no other agriculture can be suitably grown actually.
Tuchudi tachila halam. Tanga tanze madutu bebe. Yani chukude tebe janara mila tochira ku. Ani tadu dashla. Ani be me. Ba shime la shime. Shimto dadula.
Let me also talk on the agriculture development perspective at the moment, particularly for the 13th five-year plan. We are strategizing a few things in the 13th five-year plan to contribute more GDP in the country's GDP. Basically, we are targeting we will have around $10 billion as a country's economy, and agriculture is sharing around 20% of that. Okay, and within the agriculture ministry, the Department of Agriculture is one major contributor to the GDP. So from when we are tasked or given the target to contribute more towards GDP, our strategy in agriculture development is basically looking from high value crops. We are also looking at export oriented crops. Besides supporting our subsistence farmer to maintain their livelihood. Yeah? So in prioritizing high value crops, basically looking for crops in a unity area can give more sort of GDP or revenue in very specific. So in that way, the hazelnut is very much fitting into our strategy.
Actually, among the many other flavors that we have developed, about more than 12 flavors that we have developed, Mountain Hazelnut, it has been one of the hot sale products. It was in 2020 that Mountain Hazelnut offered support of providing Mountain Hazelnut to make chocolates, and we signed a memorandum of understanding in July 2020. And after that, like every year, Mountain Hazelnut has been supplying us with hazelnuts to make chocolate. and we have a shared value of community service and environmental service as well.